This is actually my favorite scale figure this week. Very simple figure, but you know, sometimes simple is best. Hi and welcome back to the channel. I'm Steven with your weekly figure news fix. This time around 23rd to 28th of September 2024. Now, before I proceed, this is a very important PSA for all of you. Next week, the entire first week of October is a public holiday week over in China. At least in China, I'm not too sure about Japan. So a lot of shops in general are going to be closed for at least 3 consecutive days, 1st to 3rd of October, if not longer than that. So if you have sent an email to your favorite figure stores asking a question, or be it WhatsApp, or you have pre-ordered, purchased anything and you did not get any response, that is normal, right? Don't panic. Oh no, someone scammed me. It is normal for next week, right? And also because of this public holiday week next week, we have a lot of figures to cover this week because they need to put stuff on pre-order first before going on a vacation next week, I suppose. A lot of genuine figures this week. Third party is a bit lesser, but still a lot of stuff to cover. Okay, so without further ado, let's move on to genuine figures making use of Hobby Link Japan, our affiliate partner for genuine figures. And as usual, I have selected the figures I wanted to cover for the week, beginning with 1x4 scale, only one single figure this week. AmiAmi, a good one. From the dangers in my heart, I haven't even finished season 1 yet. There are 2 seasons now, already finished airing. At 1x4, only 33,000 yen, which is fairly reasonable, coming out in May next year. And even though this is already quite reasonable at 1x4, the price might fall even further after release. So that is one thing to think about because, you know, seasonal anime characters, seasonal waifus, people forget their waifus after 3 months. So it might be even further after release. So maybe not pre-order. But AmiAmi is quite well loved from what I know, a lot of fans of her. And this is like the lowest effort freeing could give to a 1x4 bunny figure, like plain black bunny, generic black. Because why put in so much effort on a seasonal anime character, right? Moving on to the next one, now we enter 1x6 scale territory. We have Riko Ogasawara's special edition, where she appears to be suffering from a severe case of constipation. And she's enjoying it apparently, by BV5, Chinese brand, 22,400 yen, coming out in July next year. Yep, this is an edgy figure, very obvious. She has her panso down to her knees and yeah, you can display her casted off from the looks of it. 22k for a 1x6 is, yeah, it is quite a good price as expected of Chinese brands. I think the selling point of this figure is the face, right? This is totally the kind of scene you see in H anime where, yeah, you are ramming your favorite classmate by the window because she is quite an exhibitionist in a way. You ram her from behind by the window of a classroom. Yeah, I've seen it. I've seen this a lot in H anime. Moving on to the next one. Okay, we have a standard version. Really depends, right, whether you want the extra merch included with the figure. Yeah, for just under 20,000 yen. Now moving up to the next one over here, a 1x6 scale by Belfine, Nawatobi, Joji-chan, Mio, Hazuki, illustration by Yuyuko. 28k is, expensive, man. It is really expensive. Yes, this looks pretty detailed. Belfine is moment when you see their figures. They are a bit inconsistent. Sometimes the figure turns out okay, sometimes you get QC control issues with the paint or the sculpt. They have gotten better in the recent years though, to be fair to them, but this is a brand that you might want to be careful with. But at the same time, figures like this, artwork characters, they can go either way. They can beam, they can go up after release, yeah, depending on how popular the artwork or the artist is behind this specific character. Moving on to the next one, 1x6 scale Rias Grammary from High School DxD Hero, laundry version by Kaitendo, 32,000 yen. Yes, Each time Kaitendo makes a 1x6 or 1x5 even, I would say that it is overpriced, just like this figure of Rias over here. But number one, High School DxD and Rias Grammary, these two things, they sell like hotcakes. The value either retain or go up after release, despite the fact that it is already overpriced to begin with. And number two is that Kaitendo figures, right? I actually just remembered this as recent as yesterday, when I came across one of my old figures in my storage because I broke it, I have not repaired it. A Kaitendo figure, yes, you guessed it right. I have only one single Kaitendo figure, purchased many years ago, 1x6 scale, I think Nurse Miyu, original character, Echi figure, and it reminded me of something very important. Kaitendo figures are resin. Yes? So, Kaitendo has been around for very long, 15 years or older than that. They have been around for very long. Their figures are just meh, average, B minus grade. But they obviously sell. Their stuff sell. And figures are not even their main core business. They are also involved in some other merchandise. Figure is like a side business of theirs. And despite their figures being average, they sell pretty well apparently, and they are resin. So that's one thing to think about, and that might be the reason why this is expensive at 32,000 yen, because resin is a more expensive material. It also explains why the third-party resins, they are like 1x6 scale, but what? $250, $300? Resin. And as you can see, Kaitendo 1x6 scale, plain and simple, bikini figure, not cheap as well. Okay, moving on to the next one, we have a re-release by Vertex. This is a good one, 9th Villager from the Elf Village series. Ulysses, how to pronounce that. Anyways, 30k, worth it. It is worth it. If you like the character design, go ahead and pick one up. A lot of Elf Village figures, they become expensive after release. But Vertex has been re-releasing a number of them. So if you missed out the first release, maybe there is a second chance. Moving on to the next one. Okay, this is also a re-release by Kaitendo. 28k at 1x6 scale. We have Toru from Kobayashi's Dragon Maid. I remember this figure very well. I think I covered it like last year. This came out not too long ago. But yeah, Dragon Maid is incredibly popular. And people buy them despite how some of the figures can have questionable quality. I mean, even B-Full, right? B-Full and Fots Japan made figures from Dragon Maid. They broke upon arrival at the doorstep. I've seen complaints in Reddit, yeah, anime figures subreddit. But what? Guess what? People still buy them. That's the thing. So I'm not too surprised by this one getting a re-release, even though this is a very meh Toru figure. Not to mention that it almost feels like she has no arms at all because the melons are concealing everything. Yet people buy them enough to get a re-release. So that's the thing. Sometimes it is hard to understand the Japanese. They just buy their favorite anime figure characters, right? They just buy the favorite characters. They don't care whether it will turn out good or not. Okay, moving on to the next one. Okay, the next few figures, a quick mention. I covered them last week. I won't go through them again. They are now available on HLJ. Last week, it was AmiAmi only. This Ryuko figure by Magic Arts. And then, yeah, this figure of Reika Echi figure by Pink Mango. Not my kind of thing, but I like the face at least. And also, yeah, this Albedo is splendid. Splendid kimono. I like it a lot. 31k at HLJ. And also, yeah, this Blue Archive Hina Surasaki, which I'm very surprised that HLJ is offering to take pre-orders for it. Because, you know, B-Full, their stuff break very easily, and AmiAmi don't even want to take pre-orders for many of their figures. Same can be said about Fots Japan and Insight, but I'm surprised to see HLJ taking pre-orders. Maybe because Blue Archive is popular, right? Yeah. So yeah, if you want to support this channel, make use of my affiliate links down in the descriptions below. Go through the link over there and enter HLJ and buy whatever you like, and it will really help out this channel. Okay, moving on to the next figure. Now 1x7 scale Nia swimsuit version by Golden Head, only 18,000 yen because this is a simple figure, less parts. I actually like slender bodies like this, you know. I like it a lot. Yeah. Character design wise, is this a Blue Archive character? I see that thing floating over her head. Anyways, I like the character design. Might be worth picking up if you like her too. Not much comment otherwise. I like that. I mean, the sculpting on the belly region, the waist, I like it so much over here. Moving up next, this is actually among the highlights of this week because she is really affordable for a scale figure from Mietos, one of the top Chinese brands out there. Arknight's W dress version. So you're getting a 1x7 scale figure, a set of chair and desk and the carpet, all of this for 14,000 yen, man. Just, this is a no-brainer for Arknight collectors. What else can I say? The things that Mietos is making a series of figures wearing a very similar black dress and they are sitting on some kind of chair or next to a desk. Slightly different design for every figure. But to me it feels like, yeah, while they may be great value buys, once you start buying too many of these figures where all of them look almost alike, then it can start feeling a bit boring. Yeah, that is the only negative I can think of. But overall, still a good buy, seriously. Okay, moving up next, we have a pair of Kurumi Tokisaki and White Queen from Date a Bullet. Yeah, basically the white version of a black character or vice versa. We see this a lot in anime characters and game characters. By Design Coco, a pair of relatively simple figures for almost 39,000 yen. So that would be like 19,000 yen each. Yeah, 19k each. Even though they come with a very nice chair, 19,000 yen still feels a bit pricey because Design Coco has a really nice Hatsune Miku figure. I think it was Senbon Sakura for only under 15,000 yen. Yeah, this one, 19k each is starting to feel rather expensive, right? I'm comparing the detail levels and stuff like that. So the thing is that with White Queen, right, there is a really nice scale figure of her, I think by Prisma Wing. Prisma Wing overprices their stuff, but their White Queen looks really nice. And did Shibuya Scramble figure do one? I think they did as well. So Shibuya Scramble is probably the gold standard for a scale figure of White Queen. I'm not a fan of this pair, unfortunately. You can get them separately for 19,800, which once again, I don't really think it is worth it. Especially with Kurumi, so many figures of her out there to choose from. Why pick something like this? Moving on to the next one. Okay, this is nostalgic. Selvaria Bless from Valkyria Chronicles. Is this even a swimsuit? Swimsuit style, but who wears a skirt to the pool, right? Anyways, I also made a figure of her like 15 years ago. That is still my favorite figure of her because she is in her military uniform outfit and with a spear, that is how she appeared in the game and the anime adaptation. I watched the anime like 10 years ago. Yeah, the anime adaptation was good. Go and watch it, right? Old anime, but still a really good show even today. By Kyoskyo, which they make great figures. So I'm not too surprised that they ask a lot for a figure like this. 25,000 yen coming out in October next year. What can I say? Kyoskyo is like top 10 my favorite figure brands out there. Even though they have a problem with pricing, just like Amakuni, they know that they are good. So yeah, they just price it a bit higher because, hey, if you are good at something, do not do it for free, right? You see this meme all over the internet by the Joker. So, not a bad buy. I mean, we haven't seen a figure from Valkyria Chronicles in ages already. Moving on to the next one. This is actually my favorite scale figure this week. Very simple figure, but sometimes simple is best. Yeah. 1x7 scale Psycho Bunny illustration by Love Kakao, deluxe edition by Hobby Sakura 20k, or you can get the figure only without the wall scroll for 18k. Oh, that is great buy, man. A great buy. The only unfortunate thing is that this figure is probably even cheaper in Taobao. Yeah, Chinese brands, they are always like that. Like, the Kamisato Ayaka figure I reviewed recently, 24,000 yen in AmiAmi, right? I think 24k. 22k over here in HLJ, but over in China, it is the equivalent of about 18,000 yen. So this is, in my opinion, a must-have, even though I complain and bitch about bunny girls all the time, so many of them. Oh, the thing is that this one, she looks at you in the eye. She is smiling while holding that knife over there. Yandere, maybe. But most importantly, the thing I like about this figure is both the pose, very photogenic, and number two, The thing with the design of this bunny outfit is that maybe, you know, it looks a bit different from the usual bunny suit, and yeah, she has weapons with her. I mentioned it many times. I love girls or women with weapons, so maybe this is why this figure appeals to me so much. Gives off that assassin vibe with the character design, and I like it so much. Yeah, I need to complain about the base. I hope that isn't what we are getting in the final product, but even if we get a base like this, I don't think I will complain too much. Okay, moving on to the next one over here from Niji Sanji. We have Amamiya Kokoro by Furyu at 22,000 yen only. August release next year. I have mentioned this like maybe half a dozen times that it is quite remarkable that Furyu has stopped asking for 30 or 40,000 yen for the figures. Nowadays, every figure is like 20 plus K. I don't know what happened. Maybe they have found a better way, a more cost-efficient way of making figures. Hopefully that is the case. And this is plenty detailed for a 22K figure. Yeah. Just that I would approach this figure with caution because this is Furyu we are talking about. Sometimes their figures just turn out way less detailed than what was being advertised. Yeah. Moving on to the next one over here. I feel sad for HLJ. Right? Not because I'm making less money. Maybe. But the thing is that this figure went on pre-order last Saturday on AmiAmi, and she shot up all the way to first place in the most popular figure ranking of the week, right? Which means a lot of people placed a pre-order with AmiAmi. And HLJ was late by 2 or 3 days before listing it on Monday or Tuesday a few days back. Man, the sheer number of lost sales, man. Nico Demara from Zenless Zone 0 by Apex Toys, 21,000 yen only. In my opinion, a must-have as well. So if you have not pre-ordered it, get one. 21K, this is actually cheaper than in AmiAmi. AmiAmi is like 10% more. Coming out in September next year. Will I get one? I would say the probability is very high. I'm still asking myself, should I pre-order it early? But regardless of whether I pre-order it early or not, I do think I will get one. Yes. I'm liking the character design a lot. Moving on to the next one. Okay. You know, this has to be the most daring figure yet by Alice Glint. Alice Glint makes very safe for work figures all these years, and suddenly this Hadaka Magia Magenta with only pink color stuff stuck on her melons and also down there. And this is the kind of body shape I like, you know. I don't like giant melons. Even if I purchased one, I won't be able to review it on YouTube without getting age restricted. That's the thing. Very unfortunate. 17,700 yen, fair enough. Fair enough, right? I mean, this is not the kind of figure you come by very often, especially one that comes from an ecchi anime. A lot of ecchi animes, they don't get scale figures made. Yeah, this is quite sad. So this is something you might want to pick one up. I mean, she goes well with Meja Baser, right? We have a few figures of Meja Baser already. The first figure of Magenta, and will we get more? I don't know. I would say the likelihood is quite low unless the anime gets a season 2. And maybe the rest of the team will get a figure like this as well. Yeah, I call it the Powerpuff Girls team. It feels like Powerpuff Girls to me. So, get one. This is a good buy. I mean, buy one as long you don't live with your family or you don't have children around your house. Okay, moving on to the next one. We have Furyu 1/7 scale Overlord Solution Epsilon. 23,000 yen almost, coming out in July next year. Very detailed figure, only to be ruined by the post, man. Come on, put in more effort. Just because it is not LB though, doesn't mean you should do a half-assed job with the figure, you know? Yeah, it is a bit unfortunate, man. Wait, did I cover this in AmiAmi last week? No, right? Last week was the other red color character. I don't think so. Unfortunately, not many other options out there for this character. Moving on to the next one. Okay, we have like 2 or 3 male characters I would like to go through quickly. Rurouni Kenshin by Proof, 22k before discount. July release next year. This actually looks okay, I liked the face over here. Please, proof, do not mess up this figure. Rurouni Kenshin is a very popular character, even though I don't collect stuff like this. And yeah, you have alternatives from Kotobukiya as well, if you want to play a safer, take a safer route, I mean. Okay, next one here, Kotobukiya, there you go. Art FXJ, this is Kurama from Yu Yu Hakusho, 23,000 yen, April release next year. Yeah, has to be licensing cost. Art FX figures are usually between 16 to 18,000 yen. Does he like to... I don't even know what to say, man. I wanted to say the BD 4 alphabet words, but I don't know if YouTube likes it or not. Anyways, let's just move on to the next one. This is an Ecchi figure by Alpha Max, and it is quite rare to see them do a male Ecchi figure, slow damage. Towa transfusion version. Wow, transfusion, okay. 26,000 yen for a 1x6 is not bad, and you get a huge cannon down there. Yeah, the fangirls are going to be all over this scale figure. Figures like this don't come by very often, I mean. And the third parties are doing it a lot. I don't cover them because there are way too many of them every week, but yeah, every week you'll see dozens and dozens of Ecchi male figure characters from the resin side of things. Okay, moving on to the next one. Now we shall enter the the low cost scale figure territory, and we have a lot of good stuff this week. Okay, the first one here is perhaps the best one from Enso Toys, Chinese brand again. We have Sayuri Dairy Cow version for almost 10,000 yen at 1x7 scale. Should you get it? Don't ask questions, just hit the pre-order button. Okay, so with cow outfit, right? Usually we get bikinis all the time. This is a bit different, but still a very common outfit design. And my favorite part about this figure is the face. Like, face masks are some of the least attractive stuff just 4 years ago, the pandemic. But it has slowly morphed into some kind of a fashion statement in a way. And yeah, we are seeing more mask figures than we used to just in the recent year or two, and most of them look really good. This one included. Yeah, and Twin Tail is my kind of thing as well, so I might pick up one after release. Moving up next, we have Tenito Tall, their 4-year version of Pop-Up Red L, bigger figures. Albedo from Overlord, 10,000, 9,500 yen, 10,000 yen, fine. Coming out in May next year. She is cheap because the wings are missing, right? If she comes with wings, that would be at least an additional 5,000 yen. Yeah. To me, Albedo isn't really Albedo without her wings, but for this figure, I can understand. They need to keep the price down. And the swimsuit design is actually fairly attractive on this one. Moving on to the next one, we have Sheltier. Man, we have quite the number of Overlord figures this week, man. 9,500 yen as well, June release next year. Yeah, great buy. Goes well with Albedo earlier. And then we have Tenitol Holo from Spice and Wolf. Come on, make this Tenitol L as well. I mean, Holo is quite popular. Just go a bit higher end. Additional 3,000 yen and people will still buy it, right? 6,200 yen over here coming out in June next year. Who knows, maybe they do have a tall version planned with a different design, who knows. This is a very good looking holo figure, and personally I would go for this over the pop-up red. Yeah, the standard pop-up red. This looks good. And look at the gradient paint work on the hair. Yeah, this isn't something you see often on cheaper figures. We are getting some gradient work, which is nice to see. Moving on to the next one. For every single girl in the Eminence in Shadow, I have a hard time choosing my favorite, because all of them, they are nice in their own way. They have their own character, their own personality. They are attractive in their own ways, but Alpha is near the top, like my top 3 favorite girl from this series. So we are getting an L size of a figure, and you know what's the best part? The face. This is almost scale figure, like high-end scale figure quality when it comes to the face sculpt. maybe I shouldn't be hesitating so much and just get one, right? This is pop-up rate L, no bigger figure, more margins for error, so there is less likelihood for the figure to turn out like crap. And also we are getting beta L size. This is not as good. I prefer the, was it Kadokawa? Yeah, Kadokawa had a scale figure of her, right? That is my favorite beta figure so far. This is a bit inferior to alpha, unfortunately. But you know, they are meant to be a set, a pair. You get one, you need the other. Yeah, I will consider. Oh, the curves, man. The curves on alpha. Oh, I want to spank that so hard. Moving on to the next figure. Pop-up rate, Annie Leonhardt. L size as well. 8,000 yen before discount. April release. It feels like buying an anatomy statue for a science lab, you know. Not my kind of thing. Moving on to the next one. Pop-up rate L size as well. So they pick a random male character from Danganronpa and does it in L size. Sometimes I don't know how they choose which character to go for L and which to skip. I really don't know, man, how they make the decisions. And the last figure on HLJ for today, 3,200 yen only. We have Kurumi Tokisaki in swimsuit from El Coco at 1/7. Coming out in February, very soon. Actually, one of you commented in one of my videos saying that El Coco figures are very close to price figures in terms of the quality, but a bit better than that. So that is actually nice to know. And you know, the shading on the swimsuit over here is unusually heavy for a low-cost figure. I mean, you can see it very clearly, right? Bright blue, and then the surrounding is so dark. Yeah. The paintwork over here for such a cheap figure is not bad at all. And the pose, to be fair, very attractive. This is like a model in a swimsuit posing for photographs. So I'm looking at the perspective of a photographer. I find this very attractive. Maybe pick one up, right? Okay, now we shall move on to AmiAmi for more figures, like a lot of them. We have a lot of AmiAmi exclusives this week. First one, we have Kana Arima fashion version from Oshinoko, 27,500, because it is an AmiAmi exclusive by DMM Factory. Jeez. I would wait for the Good Smile Date version. This is absurd, 27,000 yen. I think they put a Ruby figure on pre-order a couple of weeks ago at the same price as well, and I complained the same thing. Yeah, so here's the same complaints over here. Overpriced, overpriced, overpriced. Wait for the Good Smile 1/6 scale Dates version. Moving up next, of course it has to be an AmiAmi exclusive because we have Fots Company plus a popular game title. Yeah, Girls Frontline, FGO, Uma Musume, Pop, and AmiAmi exclusive tag on it. So Asian Flash 1/7 scale at 27,000 yen. Yes, expensive for sure for a 1/7. And once again, I know that I gave Fat Company too much shit over the years. Yeah, I am concerned about the paintwork on the dress. This thin gold color trim. So that is the kind of part that Fat Company is known to screw up. Yeah, very thin, fine detail parts, right? Paint bleeding. And yeah, not to mention it is gold paint. Gold paint is notorious for not melting in hot and humid weather. Pose-wise, I have no complaints, right? I mean, Fat Company in general, their sculpting is okay. Their sculpting is very good. It is often the paint part where they screw up things a bit. No, this glass base is really cheap. I have some of them behind in my studio. They are really cheap. It still doesn't justify the 27,000 yen price tag. Moving on to the next one. Wow. There's no way this figure is going to get past YouTube's rules, man. I mean, if I did not cover it up and then I get a human moderator to take a look at this, they would still say nope. This is nope. I mean, yeah, even though the nip is not visible, the rest of the melon is visible, and that is too much. Yeah, Azur Lane's Big Cow. Mousepad design version of Kashino. By Any Gift, 20,000 yen at 1/6 scale. Any Gift, Chinese figure brand, and they are known for making you wait at least 1 year for their figures. Yeah, just like a lot of seasoned Japanese brands, right? Even outer figures, you don't wait that long nowadays, you know. It is like if you put a pre-order today, the release date is around May or June. Any gift is taking way longer than that. Yeah. So, once again, if you love big sagging melons, this is a must-have. I mean, any gift, they make great figures. I have no complaints about the brand. And Kashino, we have another one in the third-party section later. I'm quite surprised to see an any gift figure ending up as an AmiAmi exclusive. Has this even happened before? I don't think so. Okay, moving on to the next exclusive, of course, Alter, Ulrich von Hutten. I'm not good at pronouncing German, but German is a lot easier than French at least. 32,000 yen. Ouch. But you to get a print of some kind, is that a wall scroll? I have no idea. But anyways, I like this character design a lot more. This looks super badass. And she totally reminds me of Ellen Jo from Triple Z. Yeah, very similar character design and all. I like this one so much. Will I get one? We'll see after release. If she gets discounted, then maybe... No, I have officially fallen into the Azur Lane hole. I have like one or two Azur Lane figures, and there will be a third one coming soon. I will review it. Will I get this one? Not now, right? I won't pre-order it now. It is not like outer figures become stupidly rare nowadays, unless we're talking about the Marlin. I'll wait and see. Yeah, she does come with two faceplates. The other one with the eyes closed, but I prefer this one with the eyes opened with this figure over here. Moving up next, we have a 1x7 scale figure of R3, an ongoing anime series that is almost finished airing. I mentioned her briefly last week because, this was on pre-order last Saturday actually, which by then I have finished filming my video for last week. 24,500 is definitely expensive. Pretty expensive for a small lolly figure like this. And it feels like looking at a generic eroge character from a VN game from like 20 years ago, you know. The character design on this character called R3, it really reminds me of the older game characters, older eroge games from the mid-2000s. The design language is very similar, so it feels a bit nostalgic to me. Okay, moving on to the next one, Echocaplypse Leviathan by Wild Melody. Yeah, I remember this one very well from OneFest. Not too surprised by the price of 37,000 yen, and I do think it is reasonable. Is it expensive? Yes. Is it overpriced? Not really, right? Given the amount of stuff and how complex the figure is. Wild Melody, I don't know much about them. I know nothing about this game. I know nothing about the character, but you know what? I want one. That's the thing. I am someone who gets attracted to figures solely based on character design alone. No, I won't pre-order it. Too much commitment. I'm starting to pre-order stuff again for stuff that I fear will sell out after release. Okay, moving on to the next one. Game Girl illustration by Grandia Yuan by Hobby Sakura. This is not yet on pre-order on HLJ at the time of recording, not an exclusive. So we have 21k on this one, and I believe there is, the cheaper version without the wall scroll. I have no idea why AmiAmi cropped out the bottom version of this figure. There is nothing to cover really. It is suitable for all ages. All ages, including not including 5-year-olds, but you get my point. I like the character design over here. That's the thing with Hobby Sakura, you know. Their original characters are just so damn attractive. Okay, moving up next, another one over here, Spark illustration by Mignon. 1x7 scale, 21k and also 19k. It is more like 20,000 yen and 18,000 yen, as we saw in another Hobby Sakura figure, Psycho Bunny in HLJ, just that AmiAmi is including the Japanese text over here. This is... I like the character design. Maybe it is just me being dry and horny, And whenever I see a nice slender woman, oh, I hit the like button. Yeah, I love it. Not to mention, this is once again another twin tail. Okay, moving up next. Wow, a lot of artwork figures this week. Akuma Musume illustration by D Smile by Toy AESN. Whatever that is, it is a Chinese brand, and yeah, not yet available on HLJ, perhaps next week. 16,500 yen only. This is a very good pre-order. 15,000 yen figure, right? This is a 15,000 yen figure. Very good looking figure, man. And yeah, I want one just to photograph her. Coming out in November 2025. Long wait. Long wait. I'm suspecting over here, this another new figure brand is probably a branch of an existing bigger brand. It happens a lot. Yeah, I just need to do some digging. Okay, moving on to the next one. This is, wow, Yamashita artwork, man. This was popular like 15 years ago. There was this figure brand called Yamato. They still exist, just that they don't make scale figures anymore. They make like model ships, model kits of battleships and those kind of things, right? Model kits in general, plastic kits. In the past, they used to do these scale figures of Ayanami Rei and Asuka and a few other characters in this Art of Shunya style. Can Google it or can MFC it. They were pretty popular and then they just died off for no reason. For reasons I don't know. And now to see this artwork, this Art of Shunya coming back, wow. And this is by Flare, which has connections to Alter, by the way. 23,000 yen sounds about right for a figure like this. I bet this is quite tall because Art of Shunya figures, they are almost always 1/6 scale back then. Let me check the dimensions. They were non-scale, but almost 1/6. That was 10 years ago. So the dimensions over here, 25 centimeters. Okay, it is a bit small. 25 centimeters is like between 1/7 to 1/6. 1/7 figures are usually 23 to 25 cm, but there are 1/6 scale figures that are as short as 26 centimeters because, you know, the characters in question, they are short to begin with. Okay, non-scale figure, Art of Shunya, it is an acquired taste, not my kind of thing. Art of Shunya is borderline between anime style and realistic style, the ones you see in resin figures. It is in between, not my kind of thing, but yeah, it has its own fans, right? Moving on to the next one. This is not an exclusive. Amakuni. Yeah, Amakuni stuff appear really late in HLJ as well. Another Sophie Noenmaler figure. Swimwear version. I just couldn't stop marveling at the sculpting by Amakuni all the time. No, they are really good at sculpting female anatomy. You look at that belly, that waist over there, and all the muscle lines. Yeah. And the heavy shading that goes with it on her one-piece swimsuit. Simple figure, but like I said 30 minutes ago, sometimes simple is best. And not to mention the color palette over here. Oh, it is so well balanced, you know. Red, yellow, blue. Not exactly blue, but 20,000 yen. Reasonable, expensive, but borderline reasonable. Could have been more expensive given that Amakuni likes to overprice their stuff quite a bit sometimes. I like it. Moving up next, another Amakuni figure we have Ash Blossom, not the Ash from Pokemon, right? From Yu-Gi-Oh! See, the thing is that I used to play with Yu-Gi-Oh! Card game, but I was a kid back then, like 7, 8 years old kid back then. Couldn't afford the genuine cards, which only the rich kids, the rich cool kids could afford. I bought like the bootlegs for like $1 a pack. And back then, you know, when I was a kid, we did not have Yu-Gi-Oh! Monsters with all these cute girls around. So I am so outdated, more outdated than some of the boomers when it comes to Yu-Gi-Oh! Stuff. And when I told you guys that, did Yu-Gi-Oh! Have pretty girls like this, you told me this character has been around for 10 years now. I was like, oh, okay. That's the thing. It is impossible to know everything. Moving on to the next one, we have one single 1/4 scale binding figure. Ayaka Sawara fabric outfit. Is that fabric? Yeah, looks like real fabric to me, which is why it is so cheap, 33,000 yen. Some of you would disagree with me and say that, you know, fabric outfit for figures and dolls, they are not cheap. I mean, look at Dolphy outfits, right? Not cheap. Yeah, I get it. Just that it can also translate into, less parts for the on the figure. But anyways, this is one of the least attractive binding figures I've seen in recent months. Yeah, not a fan of it. Some of you love bloomers. It is a thing in anime. Some people have a thing for bloomers. I think it is okay, but in my opinion at least, bloomers are supposed to be for lollies with very nice backsides, and you want to highlight the shape, the nice round shape of their backside, because they don't have anything else to show on their chest. So, to see a matured character, a more matured looking character in bloomers and this gym outfit, doesn't feel like a good combination compared to lolly characters. Moving on to the last figure on AmiAmi. Wow. What a pose, man. Honey Cage Henriette illustration by Nanahara Fuyuki, 1x5. Nice. By Pleiades, 33,000 yen. I like this a lot. I like this a lot for reasons that I'm not sure. Maybe it is because of women, hot women with weapons, with sword. Again, this is like Excalibur. She wants an Excalibur but shoved into a different place, After losing a war, and then you get captured as a war prisoner and they do all kinds of things to you, which is also a common theme in H anime. And for this specific character design, I like it. Yeah, 33k for 1x5 is actually a very good buy, Okay, now we stop by Ninin game for, the Beeful in Fots Japan and Inside stuff. I'll go through them very quickly. We have Mad Dog Boy Cerberus, 1x4, about 27,000 yen, I think, and also 1x6 skill at 19,000 yen. And then we have this girl called Futa Prison Guard at 1x4 skill, 29k, and 1x6 skill, 20k or so. Yeah, this is what we call self-sufficiency, feeding yourself when you are hungry. You don't even need to spend money on food. Okay, moving on to the next one, we have one single 1x5 skill Nina stuck in the wall version. Yeah, this is a thing also in H games, I suppose. Yeah, check out the figure on your own. And then the last four figures, we have Mischievous Estelle Gothic Girl 1x4. This is the safe version, you can't cast it off, by Fots Japan, 29k and 19k once again. And the edgy version where she's not wearing anything by Insight instead for the same price at 1.6 and 1.4. And that is all for genuine figures on pre-order this week. Now we move on to third parties. We have a bit less figures. Thankfully, I've been talking so long in the genuine figures section alone. Okay, this is OSGK, our affiliate partner for third parties. Make use of our affiliate links once again if you're interested in anything. Yeah, it is in the descriptions down below. Moving on to the next one, the first one over here. We don't have any Anyas this week. Hopefully, I did not miss out on any. We have a licensed resin figure by Lightyear Studio in collaboration with Toei Animation. Yamato, 1x6 skill, right? This has to be 1x6 at 790. Big oof. December release. Wow. Yeah, the height is like, I know, really tall, but half of the height is the figure. This is a 1x6 skill. With licensed figures, I know that I always encourage you guys to support original licensed stuff, because the artists, the people working hard on all these anime and games, they need to earn a living. That's the thing. So support licensed stuff if you can, but at the same time, Toei Animation is a big a-hole as a company. So I can understand that some of you don't want to support them. That's the thing. Okay, I'll leave it to you to make the decisions. Okay, moving on to the next one. We have two figures of Jewelry Bonnie. The first one is by Venus Studio and Wink Studio. 3 versions, I think different colors, and you can get her at 1x4 or 1x6 skill. The 1x6 skill is actually starting from around $190 and the pictures I can't put it on screen because she's not wearing anything. Version C here for $333. That is 2 figures actually. Getting 2 versions, and 1x4 skill up to $482. But regardless of whether it is 1.6 or 1.4, this is not impressive. I can't recommend this figure. The second one here, I thought it was Jewelry Bonnie earlier because of the hair color. This is actually Vinsmo Reiju, so not the same character. By Longhu Studio, $199 is not yet confirmed. Okay, let's have a look. I just want to see the face. Okay, this looks fine. And yeah, this looks a lot better as a figure compared to the previous one. Oh, this is good. Right? This looks good. Okay, moving on to the next one, we have a scale figure of Boa Hancock by GG Studio. This is about 1/7 scale. No price yet, so I can't really say much. And I saw a comment on Facebook in a resin figure group where someone complained, this is too simple, this is boring. Once again, for the third time I'm saying into this video, sometimes simple is best. My problem with third-party resin figures is that sometimes, yeah, they overcomplicate things more than necessary. I know that some people like them, but to me, it looks like a hot mess. Like you have a giant diorama base with explosions and effect parts, and then somewhere the main character, the figure, is lost somewhere in the middle. I'm not a fan of that. Looks very cluttered, you know. Okay, the face on this one, no problems at all. And of course, there is a white version as usual. Both of them look really good. Moving on to the next one, we have two Evangelion figures over here. The first one by Dragonstone Studio, Asuka and Rei. Right, $603 is for two figures actually. If you buy only one, not really worth it. $367 because of that bike over there. But to get both, you get a big price cut. $603, about $300 each, right? For a very long time, artists loved putting Asuka and Rei on motorcycles. I've seen a lot of such artwork online. I'm not sure what is the reason. Is that like a collaboration between Evangelion and a motorcycle brand like Yamaha? I don't know. Maybe it is a collab, but I've seen a lot of artworks involving EVA characters with motorcycles. I want the bikes, man. I want the bikes. But even if I buy only the bike, assuming that is even an option, yeah, they have Rei and Rei and Asuka's face printed on it. I can't use it with other figures, so I'm good with skipping this one. Moving on to the next one. Oh, a third one over here. Yeah, the second one. Yep. By Qingyuan Studio, we have AmiAmi Rei. This is like Jesus. Yeah, pun intended. Not my kind of figure, but I like the paintwork. I mean the heavy shading on the cross over there. Version A, $319 and okay, short hair and long hair. Of course. Moving on to the next one. Oh, another one. Alright, this is Katsuragi Misato. We don't get many scale figures of her. Not especially 1/4 scale. $399 is fine for everything you're getting. There's even a penguin included, so it is worth it. However, the realistic face, more of an acquired taste, right? Not everyone will like it. Coming out in June 2025. Next one over here, we are moving into 1/4 scale territory. That was just the first one. This is a licensed resin figure by Infinity Studio, Seraphine from League of Legends. Okay, this is going to be popular, right? Despite the asking price of $900. Jeez. Oh, this is good. This is really good, but $900. Wow. I really wish that I'm richer so that I can afford maybe a couple of these figures, not from LOL, but from some other games. I really want a 1/4 scale 2B from Nier Automata, and the one by Cool Bear Studio is already out, just released. They are still collecting, remainder payment for those early birds who pre-ordered one, which I did not because it is so expensive. Hopefully, I'll be able to score one sometime in the future. Moving on to the next one, we have two licensed figures from PJ Studio. The first one is Mai Shiranui, an evergreen favorite among fans of arcade fighting games. No price yet. I am predicting $800 because this is licensed, right? If it was unlicensed, I would predict $550 or $600. I want a close look on her face. Okay, this looks really nice. PJ Studio, they are known for their original characters, and when they are original characters, it also means that it is licensed because it is their own original character. And their first 2 or 3 releases in the past, we're talking about years ago now, they had mechanical issues where if there is a very heavy part, like a huge wing, like Albedo for example, right? Any characters with a huge wing, the wings would start sagging down because of, once again, resin is also vulnerable to high temperatures, just like PVC figures. They are not that different in that regard. And yeah, when the wings start sagging down or any heavy part begins to sag, not only that, they will start to show cracks because it is resin, a stiffer material. That was their older release, right? Their newer figures are a lot better, a bit better. I figured that they would have learned their lesson by now and reinforced the figures further. So hopefully this one turns out good because it is a licensed figure. And the second licensed... is that the only one? Oh, okay. My tab arrangement. Let's go for this one first. So the second licensed figure over here is also from KOF, Luong. Oh yeah, KOF has characters from Southeast Asia, right? Luong sounds like a Vietnamese name to me. No price yet on this one, just like the one earlier. Maybe they're going for every KOF female character? Yeah, maybe. This character, how do I describe it? It feels like looking at a generic Chinese game character even when it isn't. Yeah, that is the sad part because there are so many Chinese characters getting 1x4s and they are quite similar to this one. Okay, moving up to the next one. This is, in my opinion, one of the best third-party resins this week by Hyperspace Studio, 1x4 as well. Scarlet Black Shadow from Nikkei, right? So there are 3 versions over here, starting from $283. Oh, this is 1x6. I thought it is 1x4. Okay, yeah, of course, $283 can't be 1x4. I believe that they did a 1x4 scale of Scarlet as well, and this is just the cheaper version. Okay, coming out in June 2025. Hyperspace Studio is quite respected. Their stuff are okay actually, and I just want a good look at her face. Oh, this is nice. Scarlet, I think Good Smile has a scale figure of her as well, right? So this is not easy for Hyperspace Studio. They need to compete with the genuine figures, but this is quite nice. I wouldn't be against getting this one if you like her. Some of us, we just buy multiple figures of the same character when we like the character enough. Next one here, okay, this is Misaka Mikoto, coming from a third party, quite unexpected. This is cheap because at 1x7 scale, $171, and at 1x4, you're paying only $240. Not too far off of freeing 1x4 scale. Whoa. Yeah, $240 is not bad at all, man. Simple figure for sure. And all those electric effect parts, they are going to be fragile, but hey, this is so cheap for 1x4, man. Light Team Studio, how many orders are you guys expecting to get for this one? As you guys know, when they don't get enough pre-orders, they just cancel the figure. And I fear for this one. Yeah, moving on to next figure from Hunyu Studio, we have Ai Enma from Jigoku Shoujo Hellgirl. The first season was like year 2008 or so, and then season 2 like a couple of years later, and then season 3 10 years later. I have forgotten everything. Like I need to watch back the whole thing before catching up season 3. This is coming out in September at 1x7, oh 1x7 and 1x4, nice. 1x7 at $239, 1x4 at $381. Okay, I don't think there is any 1x4 scales of her. 1x7, there is. Was it Good Smile or Good Smile Arts Shanghai we're talking about a year ago? Yeah, they had like a 30,000 yen Ai Enma figure with all these traditional clothes, and then they are rolling around like that. I don't know what to call them. It was quite expensive, I think 30,000 yen, and the price did not drop after release because apparently, yeah, there was some demand for it. Okay, this one, the face is quite accurate to the character, I know from the anime adaptation at least. Next one here, we have one single Marin Kitagawa figure from Cash Studio by, from my Dress Up Darling. Of course, there is a regular version, $159 only, very reasonable considering everything you're getting over here. And then there is Hadaka version and a set for $259. It is tough. Just 2 years ago, everyone was spamming Marin Kitagawa figures because they were selling like hotcakes. But yeah, the genuine figure brands have caught up on her popularity. They underestimated Marin Kitagawa, and by today we have way too many choices. So for a generic schoolgirl uniform Marin Kitagawa, yeah, this is not easy to sell. But the good news over here is that this is one of the better third looking resin figures of her. Right? A lot of figure brands could not get Marin's face right for some reason. Even the genuine figure brand Proof couldn't get it right. Yeah. Moving on to the next one from ACY Studio. Oh, 1x4. I should have grouped it together with the figures earlier. 1x4 Dungeon Fighter Blade Dancer. I've seen a few figures from this title over here. So regular version is going for $593 and deluxe version $643. Oh, that is pretty. Right? For a realistic looking character, that is really pretty. This is what I'm looking for. Very nice. Not the kind of thing I would buy. Moving up next, okay, I believe I covered this briefly in the previous weeks or so from Sanji Studio and Makima. So now we have actual pictures, right, at 1x4 scale, I believe. So yeah, you can get her in the sexy outfit or her office uniform. And you can get a set for $499 only. No scale mentioned, but the height range is 36 to 50. Let me have a look at the height. Yeah, this is a 1x4. I mean, if you get a set of two Makima figures at 1x4 for $500, man, that is a steal. Yeah. Okay, and moving on to the next one. Chunibyo. This is a KyoAni anime from like 10 years ago, quite popular back then. Season 1 was popular, Season 2 was garbage. Yeah. Standard version is going for $239 and deluxe version you get the Hadaka one as an option part for $299. Yeah, you're getting everything in the picture. The base, everything in this picture for $299. Okay, reasonable considering this is resin. Did you know that Kotobukiya made a scale figure of her? Yep, like 10 years ago. And she is stupidly rare and expensive. Yeah, so they might be onto something here. When I think about it, making a figure of Takanashi Rika out of nowhere. But when you look at the situation over at the genuine side of the figure market, I think I understand the logic over here. Moving on to the next one, we have Bunny Girl Violet Evergarden. Several versions over here, starting from $172, and then the version B Joker, that is the Hadaka 18 plus version, and you can get a set for $299. We have enough Black Bunny Girl figures. I would suggest you just skip this one. Yeah, too many of them out there. Next one here, another Violet Evergarden childhood military uniform. This one is at least photogenic, but when I say simple is best, sometimes too simple isn't good either, and this is one of those examples. $194 for this simple figure, which is pretty short, you know, this is childhood version. Not really worth it. Yeah, this is a skip as well. Once again, I mentioned this in the past as well. Take a look at Hera Studios 1x4 Violet Evergarden. That is... Up next, copycats again. Ziye Studio to be Nurse Near Automata. This is a direct copy of a Hot Venus 1x6 scale figure wearing the same exact outfit, and all they did was changing the color and the head of the figure. So I don't remember the name of that figure by Hot Venus because it is an original character, making it even harder to recall the name. But yeah, if you go to MFC, you narrow down your search by Hot Venus and maybe the tech. Right, the tech nurse, you might be able to locate that figure. Go and take a look. Two different colors, white and black. No, this is not the kind of 2B figure you should be buying. Next one over here, another 2B figure, Spots. Come on. This leg stretching pose is also... It is something that has been done to death. Wait. I'm seeing a golden shower right there. Okay. Is it? I think it is. The detail is so lacking. I mean, look at the sculpting on the hair over here. The hair strand over here, you know, it needs more details, right? So even at $168, I can't recommend this one. Moving on to the next one, we have a couple of... Is it original character? Looks like it to me. Oh, okay. This is from Chinese culture, Journey to the West. I think I know what this is. Okay, Nine-Headed Bug by Hades Studio. No price yet, and this is just an early bird pre-order. I would count this as an original character or an artwork character. Not my kind of thing. Next one over here, original Dragon Queen made Avril, not Avril Lavigne, right? I liked her. Yeah, nowadays you don't hear much about her. From Johun Create Studio, no release date yet and no price yet. So there's nothing much I can discuss over here. Not my kind of figure once again. This looks like something that you'll see when you committed a lot of sins. So after you die, yeah, you go to hell and you see something like this. Too bland in colors, black and white all over the place. Moving up next, we are entering Hoyoverse territory, beginning with Honkai Star Rail. This is a quick update from last week. Last week, I covered this figure. She was in grey prototype CGI image, no actual figure yet. Now we have it just a week later, together with a price starting from $286. And then B version is the Hadaka version, and you can get both deluxe for $454 at 1/6 scale. Coming out in December. Damn, that is really quick. Like, they have been producing the figure for a while. They are already manufacturing it since a few months ago. And they are taking pre-orders so late and releasing it just a few months later because they are confident that people are going to buy them. Even more so for a character like Fei Xiao from Honkai Star Rail. So, a quick look over here. Fantastic work, man. Woo! Very realistic looking puddle of water. Yes, get one, man. Get one. This is really good. I'm liking this so much. Last week, I predicted between $250 to $300, right? So I was pretty much spot on over here, $286. Up next, we have Silverwolf from the Queen Studio. Yeah, this is like too simple, right? The problem with Silverwolf is simple. I've said the word simple so many times. Yeah, the problem with Silverwolf is simple. Too many figures of her among the third parties. Interestingly, no genuine figures of her yet. And because options are plenty out there, you can go for something nicer. Just take a look at Active World Studio. And for that reason alone, this is difficult to sell, man. $190 standard, $225, including the DLC. Nope, can't recommend this one. Moving on to the next one, we have another Firefly figure, one of the most popular Honkai figures in recent months. So many figures of her. From Zero Krypton Studio. Okay, so standard version is going for like $230 or $194 only. Alright. And deluxe version, including the Hadaka parts, for $284, coming out this December. Yeah, they released it early. They have been making this for a while. Firefly, I would suggest go for something where she's wearing her super mecha suit. Don't settle for anything less. Yeah. Save up the budget for something more epic. Up next, we have Jingliu again. Jingliu has the same issue as Silverwolf. Too many figures of her, and this one is not even up in the top 15 best looking ones. Tough sell. Yeah. Price is not yet confirmed, but I don't think that matters anymore. Like, seriously? You gonna sell me that face? No. Okay, moving up to the next one, we have Sparkle by Linguia Studio. Sparkle has a few good looking figures of her already as well. And all these studios that I have been reading out in the past 10 minutes or so, they are very new to me. This week's Honkai Star Rail figures are not good at all. Yeah, not very good. The face is okay, but that is about it. Pretty neat. Up next, from Honkai Impacted, we have Herrscher of Sentience Fu Hua. Now this is good, because it is from Arctic Wolf Studio. No price yet. I think we will know soon in a week or two. Once again, next week is a public holiday in China, so I'm not expecting any updates next week until maybe Friday at the earliest. Yeah. One single picture only. Oh. Unlimited blade works. I like this a lot. Man, this video today is getting really long because there are so many figures. I'll just move on to the next one. Another Honkai Impacted figure, Bronya from ACG Studio. My poor ass wants that Lulan studio version so much. Bronya on that huge motorcycle, even though it will be a problem in the future. I mean, even when I have a 1400 square feet studio just to do YouTube, if I keep buying everything that is huge, eventually I will still run out of space. So that is the reality of figure collecting as a brand, as a hobby. I mean, yeah, this is just swimsuits in the end. Moving on to the next one, we have only one single Genshin figure this week, and as usual, they love looting Raiden Shogun. Here's another one, premium version and armored version, no price yet, ish. One of the weirdest thing is that, this is one of the most popular characters ever in Genshin, and no genuine figure brands made a figure of her. Up next, Blue Archive, Riku Hachima Aru. Can't recall who is that. Okay, anyways, we get a teaser picture only and nothing else by Circle Max Studio. Very nice feet, right? Feet is very important. Next one over here, we have one single Zenless Zone 0 figure over here, Caesar King. Alice 21 Studio is really... Man, they are pumping out all these Triple Z figures at speed, man. I think they were the ones who started first. Way back with Nico Demara, they were among the first. And they are coming up with these characters that I'm seeing for the first time. Caesar King, first time I'm seeing this name since I don't play the game. New character, I suppose. Yeah, and every single one of them has been really convincing. Seriously. A brand to keep an eye on among the third-party space. And the last figure for today, Kashino. Yeah, I mentioned earlier, right? We have another Kashino figure. So this is it in cow outfit. And I can't see a thing because even OzGK has covered up the figure for me. Version A over here is going for $229, and version B, a Heigao face, for the same price. So you pick your poison. Of course, I am going to advocate for Ahegao. This is a good figure to have, right, for Kashino fans. And that is all for today's figure news fix. Which one will you pre-order? Let me know down in the comments below. Quite a lot of poisons this week as well. Yeah, give this video a like. Subscribe to this channel for content like this every week. And in 1 week's time, the second week of October, I will be on a vacation. I have a friend who is a bigger weeb than I am, visiting Malaysia from Canada, all the way from Canada. So I will be like his tour guide. I will be really busy on the second week of October. I'll try to schedule something in advance, but we'll see. I'm aiming for 2 uploads per week whenever possible. It is pretty hardcore, but I'm letting you guys know in advance, right? Someone from Canada is visiting, a VIP guest in a way. Yeah, so until then, I'll see you guys again very soon. Goodbye.